Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Tamara, and today we are back with another Book Talk Made Us Read It. We are diving into the BookTok famous Fourth Wing. If you'd like to see this in video format, head on over to Patreon and you can see our pretty faces and, of course, no commercials. If you go over to Patreon, we have a ton of after shows that you can watch. We have special Patreon-only things for you over there and a lot of other fun exclusive content. So come on over and check us out. And don't forget, you can also find me and my two co-hosts over on the Book Club's app for even more bookish chats. So please subscribe and like the podcast wherever you're listening. And if you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me almost everywhere at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is feature co-host Casey from Heart Full of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here again, as always.
Yes, I'm glad you're here. Tell everyone where they can find you online.
You can find me at Heart Full of Ink on Facebook or at Casey_Heartful of Ink on Instagram or my website, heartfulofink.com.
All right. So before we get started, we'd like to remind you that there are spoilers in our conversation. Of course, as always with Book Chat, full spoilers. So you've been warned. So first up, stats and synopsis. Oh my God. Stats and synopsis. And then
it's been a couple weeks.
It has been, y'all. I've been gone. I've been out the country. I've been traveling around town.
I'm so jealous.
I'm like, it's been a while since I recorded a podcast. It's always hard after a couple of weeks off. I don't know what's going on. We are discussing Fourth Wing, written by Rebecca Yarros, narrated by Rebecca Solar and Teddy Hamilton. Published May 2nd, 2023 by Entangled and Recorded Books. The hardcover comes in at 500 pages, and the unabridged audio is 20 hours and 43 minutes. Love Rebecca Solar, by the way, but we'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. Casey, would you please read the synopsis?
Enter the brutal and elite world of a war college for dragon riders from USA Today bestselling author Rebecca Yarros. 20-year-old Violet Cernelgi was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond with fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would just kill her for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Riorson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge of her wits can give her to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly, the kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everybody at Bagscaith War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die.
All right. So before we give our first impressions after we finished, I do want to say, I think people who, you guys that have been rocking with Shelf Addiction for a long time, will, I think, be surprised by my opinion on this book. I think you will be very surprised. And Casey, do you think they will be surprised about your opinion?
Maybe. I'm not going to be as nitpicky.
Okay.
That might surprise them.
Okay. So, first thing you thought when you finished the book, what was it?
Well, obviously it was no duh. I called that one. Like always. No surprise there. My second thought was, I thought this was supposed to have some kind of cliffhanger. And I was surprised that that wasn't really a cliffhanger. And then third was, oh yeah, okay, so no, I really like this book. When is the second one coming out?
Okay. So mine was also not surprised. I was like, yeah, I kind of saw it, but I'm happy for it anyway. And I like that, wow, Xaden's got his work cut out for him in the next book. And I'm like, when is the next book?
Yes. When is the next book? It's in November. We only have to wait 2 months.
Oh
We're
my
good.
gosh. Because, okay, I liked it. I actually, for the first time in a very long time, had
Mhm.
what people would call a book hangover. I
Ooh.
literally sat, like, I finished that book and was like, And then I kind of thought about some of the questions that I had. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, I really like this. I really like that for like an hour to myself.
That's
Like not even talking
amazing.
to anyone. I was just contemplating and loving it. And then I went back and re-listened to the final chapter one more
Oh, good.
time.
Okay.
And I'm
Yes.
like, yes.
Yes. Yes.
So, y'all, so the drama is with this book, it's a TikTok favorite,
Mhm.
TikTok favorite. And on YouTube, I feel like the book community is either I love this book or
Mhm.
this book is trash. What y'all talking about?
Mhm.
I lean on the I love this book.
I do too. I really do too. And honestly, while I was reading it, I was like, okay, there are minor problems, but overall, like it's really good. It's
Yeah.
really well written, it's well developed, and I don't want to nitpick it and pull it
Mm-mm.
apart.
No,
I
I
was
want
able
to
to
keep
turn my
it.
editor brain off and just enjoy it, which might
Yay!
surprise
That's great.
people.
Yeah,
Like,
that is surprising, but I
yes.
like that.
Yes. It
Yeah.
was that good that I was able to turn my editor brain off and just enjoy it.
So I went in with lowered expectations, though, to be
I mean, yes.
really honest.
We
Because
said it was
after,
TikTok famous, and I was like,
yes,
okay, it's going to be like a 3-star from me, right?
yes. So I think that helps on the onset when you're not expecting it to be this
Good.
amazing thing out the
Mhm.
box. You go in with your expectations in check, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
But for me, I think the first thing, so I'm reading, and the first scene when they get to see the dragons for the first time, they're in the ring, and the dragons are flying in, and everyone's like they're in awe of these dragons. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting like the feels, like, because I am a Game of Thrones /
Mhm.
House of Dragon fan, and I
Mhm.
get those feels of like when you see the
The
dragons with
dragons
the
for the first
music,
time.
and it's like
Yes.
it was so wow. I want to ride a dragon too.
Yes.
Yes, I love that. I knew I was hooked after that. I'm like, wow, her description of that
Mhm.
scene, that first scene when the dragons appeared, it was just so perfect to me. I'm like, I know this is going to be good now.
I was pleasantly surprised in chapter 1 with her ability to introduce the entire world without it being awful or, boring. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's the moment when she's huffing and puffing with her backpack and her sister's barking orders at her, and they're seeing all the other people around crying, and then she has to go across the parapet or whatever. She has to, like, there's just so much action built in with the world building, and not many authors can pull that off or even think to pull that
No.
off. They think that you need to sit down with a nice
Yeah.
tomb and have, all of this long, boring world building. But there was so much action balancing the world building just in chapter 1 that I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
She threw
impressed
it
with
at
your
us.
writing style right now.
Yes.
Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, she treated us like we are smart and we
Mhm.
can figure it out.
Yes, exactly. And yes, it has every cliche and every trope in the
It
world
does.
thrown into this book, but it's also done in such a way that it feels different. Like
I
you know
thought
it's
it felt
coming, but
cozy. It felt cozy and
Yes.
familiar. It's like,
Yes.
yes, I recognize themes. Yes, I can
Mhm.
see influences or things that I might have seen before, but it didn't even matter
Yes.
because it was like so unique still.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's what impressed me the most with this book was that even though it was so tropey and you could see everything coming from a mile away because of the tropes, it still felt unique and different and fun with the dragons. Like, the dragons were amazing.
Yes. Like, okay, so right before Violet crossed, to get into the academy, and she gets up there and she runs into Zayden. And I said,
Yes!
This is it.
Like, as soon as you see him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's hot. We're doing this.
This is it. This is it right here.
at her with that glare, which later we find out was attraction. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm here for this.
Right off the rip, jump right in. I'm telling you, it has been a long time since I read a YA fantasy book that has caught me that quickly.
Yes. Same. It's been a few years, which is sad because I like the genre. But this one, yeah.
Oh, so good. So there's so many things I want to talk about. So one of the things, it's kind of like toward the end, but I think this is a part of Violet's personality that we've seen throughout. Like, first, let me just say, I love how Xaden calls her violence.
Yeah. And she earns that, though. She earns that.
Yes. I love how, like, her physical body is kind of weak, but she is strong in a lot of ways, and she is smart. She is smart as a whip. Like, I love, like, okay, before I get to the end part, like, throughout, she's thinking about, she had some help from her brother's book. She had some help from her sister, but she was smart thinking on her own. She's like, let me just slightly poison people before I fight them.
My only thing with that was, why didn't any of the teachers catch on? Like, we know Xaden caught on fairly quickly because he's smart and paying attention to her. But all of the teachers would be like, this weak little girl just gets lucky every 2 weeks that somebody's sick or they're hallucinating. Like, I feel like other people should have caught that, but it was brilliant of her to do that.
Yes, because she's like, I can't physically win just off of GP. Like, I need an edge. I need something that will let me have a one-up. And she does this, like, even when she is, like, threatening people, she is throwing big threats that she can't deliver, but no one knows it. Like, she's throwing her knives, and people are like, oh my gosh, like, is she for real? Is this chick for real? And she is. I love it. But at the end, I feel like her personality came through in the best way, because when she and Xaden finally hook up, she realizes very quickly, okay, I'm in it. I'm in it. And at first I didn't know how I felt about her saying, he likes me, he just won't admit it. I'm like, girl. but then she knows. But then at the end, I loved how she talked to him like, you are wrong, you lied, you this, and she didn't give him an inch.
No.
All the way through the end.
Yes, I love that. I love that so much too. Because she was like, I trusted you, and you betrayed that trust, you know.
Yeah, and she still did what was right. You know, she still did what she felt she had to do, but it's not because of him.
No.
It's not because of his ass, because she was a liar.
Yep.
So I love that. I'm like, I really like when the heroine is like strong in that way, and she doesn't just let some love or sex just take over her brain and get brain fog.
Yes. She's not dickmatized. She's like, nope, you fucked up. You're not touching me. I don't want any part of this.
Yes. And the part where when she first woke up, when she was out for a couple days, I'm like, oh God, is she not remember?
I had that fear too. I was like, did all of her memories like get erased? Is she gonna remember anything? And then she starts to remember. I was like, oh, thank God, because I don't want to deal with amnesia.
No, but it was like perfect. Like, she had that moment of like, oh, yay, that's my boyfriend. And then she's like, oh, hell no, get out.
She's like, nope, get out of the room.
Get out of here right now.
Don't touch me. Don't come near me.
Before you die. You're about to die. Just perfection. And even in the end, like, I love that last scene between them. He is like trying to explain himself, trying to beg forgiveness, essentially, and basically promising he will set it right, you know, and it was left open. And I'm like, yeah, so now he's got some work to do. That's gonna be fun
too. I mean, okay, to be fair to Xaden, I understand why he didn't tell her. Like, I understand why he didn't confess everything, because why would he trust her with all of these secrets? Because it's not just him. There's a whole bunch of people he's protecting. So I understand why he didn't tell her. I feel like if things had been different and, they didn't show up, and he would have told her eventually and it would have been okay, but that's not the way the book goes. So, but at the same time, I'm with you, and I like that she's like, nope, you broke my trust.
Yeah. And I agree with you too. I don't count him. Let me put it this way. I don't knock him points for not telling her, but you have to deal with the repercussions of your choices.
Yes.
So
he made the right choices, but there are repercussions for those choices.
Exactly. And I think the author balanced that perfectly. So it's like we didn't turn Xaden into the villain by any means, because we know they're the good side, but we also see that she in her own right, Violet has a reason to be upset, and it's valid, and it's not whiny, it's not childlike, it's valid.
Yes.
So yeah, two things can be true, as I like to say. And I like that. Yeah. What else did I really like? Oh, okay. So before, I'm just like blurring all my stuff out.
Please blur it away.
Okay. So one thing that I questioned, and I questioned this pretty early. I feel like maybe halfway through, Violet starts questioning some of the data that they're getting in their briefings. She's like, why didn't we know all of this? Pretty early on, especially after she reconnects with her sister. I'm like, okay, so we don't know why the Griffin people and their writers are bad. We never knew, what did they do? Why is the war? And like, that is like my big hang up. Like the whole book, we knew they're bad, we're good, we're fighting. But all the way up until the reveal of like this whole
what happened
other thing. But I'm like, there's something missing. I felt the whole time there's something big missing from this puzzle, because no one in this book says the Griffin writers have killed millions. They have done this. They have done that. No one has said that. So I'm like, well, what makes them so bad? Why are they bad? And that bothered me until it was revealed.
And I think that was her intention. At least I'm hoping, like, from an artistic standpoint, that was her intention, to leave it so open and so vague and hopefully bother the reader, to make the reader think and question the way Violet started questioning everything, and the way, she got her dad's note and everything fell into place, and she immediately went like, okay, yeah, you guys aren't evil. I'm going to fight with you. We're going to defeat these new bad guys who are the real bad guys. And, I'm hoping it was like a very intentional thing from an artistic standpoint, to get the reader to like be with Violet in that moment and question.
Yeah. And the fact that her father, like, okay, so I kind of have a problem with Violet's parents.
Oh, yes.
So her dad knew, and he's telling her freaking fairy tale stories like it's a fairy tale. Why aren't you being real with your child? Like, why aren't you?
I think she was too young. Well, no. She was 17 when her dad died.
I don't think she was too young.
That's not too young.
You're training her to be a scribe.
Back when she was like 5 and 7. No, but her brother supposedly died when she was 15. Her dad died 2 years later, so she would have been 17, which means he should have been telling her. You're right.
Yeah. And you're supposedly teaching her that knowledge is power. She should be a scribe. She should know, record history, know all the things. And you're keeping this big, huge, gigantic secret. Like, that, and just was saying it's wrong.
Fairy tales. Yeah, no, that's beyond wrong. He should have been teaching her, like, as soon as she turned 10 or 12. Like, this is the truth. This is what we're fighting for. Or even, if he thought he could wait until she was in the quadrant, the scribe quadrant, like, once his heart started failing, he should have told her the truth.
Yeah, I think so. Because he left her kind of really at a disadvantage. And lucky for her, she's curious in nature, right? She's asking questions. She's digging more on her own. She's questioning things. If that character wasn't set up like that naturally, that could have been a world of mess. Like, she could have been walking around like Dane's crazy self, like totally just drinking the Kool-Aid.
And I mean, that's also part of the trope. The the trope of the nerdy girl who loves books, who's not strong enough to be a warrior, but becomes one of the strongest warriors, but she's still so nerdy and like,
I love it.
I love that trope so much.
So speaking of her being nerdy, and obviously
Mhm.
we talked about her having a weak body, like her bones break easy. She's kind of fragile. I freaking love when her dragon and Zayden come up. Well, they were like, okay, so this is after she met with her sister, and her sister said to Zayden, "You gotta figure out a way to make her stay in that seat,
Yes,
or else."
yes.
And then pretty soon after that, she comes out, and the dragon has a freaking saddle harness on.
I will say that I thought I kind of respected her like before that point when she kept falling off up until they were in the games and she refused to let her dragon like magically hold her in during the game, and so she fell off constantly and came in last, and I was like,
that's dumb.
That's dumb. When you're in practice and trying to learn to be better, do whatever you got to do to feel respected for yourself. But when you're in the games and you're still falling off, like, no, you're just being dumb at that point. And thankfully, they still won, but like, oh my God.
Not because of her.
That one annoyed me.
It did. Like, why are you like going out of your way? And you could tell she was making strides, right?
Yes.
She's training and her muscles are getting stronger. She was falling less, but not enough to compete in that way. So why not take the little extra help? Like, even your dragon,
he wanted to help.
Dude, he's like, you're not going to embarrass my ass.
Yes.
Like, especially in the beginning, he's like, I'll keep you on because this is going to be embarrassing.
And she's like, no, let me fall in the games in front of everybody. And I was just like, fall on your own time.
Yeah,
he can
not
use
on my
his
time.
Magic to help you win in this game.
Yeah. Like, she's silly in that regard, but I understand why she wanted to.
Yes.
And now that we know like what her power is, she has something that's really like uncommon and very powerful, and she's powerful in that way. She doesn't have to be physically powerful because she has this other ability now.
Did you guess that she was going to get lightning, or did you think it was going to be something else?
I thought it was going to be something else. I didn't guess lightning.
I thought she was going to get some kind of healing thing, like her brother, because Liam was falling right then, and he was wounded, and I thought she was like going to go down and heal him. But then no, she did the opposite. I
kept waiting for her to like stop time on her own or something. I thought maybe, because what's her name? Adarna, the little gold dragon that always flies with Tardan. I thought that she was going to just somehow inherit something from her that was similar to her, but stronger, or maybe a twofer. She'll get this and something else. I thought she might get a combination or something.
That's what I was thinking too, that like maybe she would get something else other than the pausing time stuff. But maybe that's going to happen in the next book, because there was that one line at the very end saying that the golden dragon was like now double in size or something. Like, she's so much bigger.
She's growing.
She's growing a lot.
Adarna, we found out that, well, at least if I'm remembering correctly, that freezing of time was a temporary thing because that she was a baby essentially, and she really helped her in a pinch. So she didn't know how long it would last, if she could do it again, and if she did, it would damage the dragon. It would hurt the dragon, so she wasn't going to use it. Period. But that's why I thought, well, maybe
she'll get something else. I think that's going to come in a later book. At least I hope that's coming in the next book when she grows out of being a baby dragon.
Oh my gosh! So how in the world the weakest rider gets two dragons? And I love that scene. So she sees the golden dragon. Now this was foreshadowing because when they're walking through the little thing and they're looking at all the dragons and the dragons are checking them out, she sees the feather-tailed dragon at the end. And I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I'm like, okay, somehow that's going to be her dragon, but I didn't foresee Taryn also coming with Adarna.
I knew he was going to show up just because the teacher was talking about him. It was like, nobody's seen him in 5 years, even though his mate is at the school, so he can't be apart from his mate for more than 3 days. So, like, why has nobody seen him when he should be here? That's another.
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to show up. I don't know who's going to get him, but I knew he was going to show up. I didn't predict her getting both of them, though.
They're like a package deal.
Yes.
But that was so cute. Like that scene where she is protecting Andarna from those other riders, you want to be riders.
Which, what the fuck?
Right.
How can these dragon lovers even conceive of like, oh, we have to kill a dragon?
Like, where did that even come from? Like, why would you kill a dragon? Even if it's a weak dragon, why would you kill it?
Yeah. Just hope it doesn't pick anybody, or go pick your own dragon and ask that dragon if, like, maybe we can.
Which was stupid.
Burn it.
The whole point of that exercise was to find your dragon. So I would have been out looking for my dragon, not worrying about that dragon. Why would I go after a weak one when I should be finding my own most powerful dragon?
Exactly.
Like, why am I doing this when I should be doing this? It was stupid.
This is really, it was very stupid, but it really proved that she's also kind of stupid and will fight to protect anybody who she deems innocent. And
I guess it was like, I know the author did it by design to set up that whole situation, but I kind of wish it had a little bit of something different that set that up, because I'm like, what is the motivation for these guys to be out here trying to take down this innocent dragon? Like, that makes no sense.
They're just evil for evil's sake, and they're dumb, and they view anything lesser as, something that needs to be gotten rid of. Which they had repeatedly shown throughout all of their classes and fights when they kept trying to kill Violet. But killing a dragon is different from killing a person. Killing a person's kind of okay in this college.
Within bounds, because we can talk about that too.
Rules, it's okay. Right. But like, it's okay to kill a person. It's really not okay to kill a dragon.
No. It never is. I feel like that should be death on sight. Like, you kill the dragon, you die, which is essentially what happens. So that scene, though, it was like, I could see that on film, like with these two dragons. So she's off there trying to save Andarna. She's like, you can fly away, run away.
And Andarna's like, no, I'm just going to sit here and watch you.
Yeah, I'm chilling. And then here comes like Tardan, like creeping up, and before you know it, he's gonna like kill everybody. Like, oh my god, he's gonna kill them. Xaden's gonna kill them. And he really tried not to engage. He was kind of just along the side, kind of watching, but he was going to. He was going
to break the rules to save her, which I was like, I feel like the dragon should step in and kill them, because she needs to protect her fellow dragon. And humans can't really punish dragons for not following the ruls.
Yeah, but that was interesting. And then after that, he picked her. Like, Terran, the biggest dragon, the missing dragon, the biggest, baddest in that region, basically, not in the world, which we learn later. He is not the biggest, baddest ever.
But he's like, is that foreshadowing? Yes,
yeah, I'm like, is that foreshadowing for us to see another one? But like, she got him. Like, the weakest person got the baddest dragon, and a spare,
who's going to grow up to be much bigger and more powerful than her current 2-year-old self.
I know. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. I love it. I want to.
Yes,
Can I?
I want to.
A cute one and like the badass one. But yeah.
I was kind of thinking that maybe one of the greens would come up to her, because they were sniffing her leather guard protection thingy. Words are hard. When they were walking by the dragons and the 2 green ones came up and started sniffing her, I was like, I wonder if like the 2 green ones will pick her. But no, like, I knew the others were more special, but I was like, it's interesting that they're sniffing her and talking to her.
Yeah, it's interesting. They were able to, like, they were the only 2 that, like, well, they all talk amongst each other. So maybe they were the two that were just delegated to try to sniff her out. And it come to find out, so she had these scales like that the baby shed or something.
It was her sister's dragon, who's also a green dragon, was shedding scales, and her sister collected them and then shrunk them down and put them in this armor,
like
this
armor,
chest armor to protect Violet. And it did save her life many, many times.
Like, I visualized it was like, you know how you could get like a vest that goes over your shoulders and it has the front and the back? I envisioned that it was something like that.
That's kind of how I pictured it too. That covers, everything in the middle, all the important bits. So if you get stabbed, it's just going to slide right off.
Yeah. And it saved her a couple times. It worked like a dream. And I'm like her, like she's sleeping in it. I'd be sleeping in it too. I'm never taking this thing off.
I would probably not shower in it, but it'd be like there next to me.
Let me grab it as soon as I'm done. Yes. Yeah. Because that comes up later. When thank God she was sleeping in it. Okay, so we're past our break time. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, you guys. When we come back, we have lots more to talk about. So check out these commercials. And while you're doing that, head on over to Amazon and pick up your copy of the Book Review Journal. If you haven't already yet, it's available right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. All right, welcome back, guys. We will continue our conversation. We have lots to talk about still. So I wanted to talk about that scene where Violet is awakened.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. So after she gets her dragons, she becomes a bigger target.
Oh, yeah. Because there's 41 students who have survived this whole year and did not get a dragon. So apparently if you kill the rider, sometimes the dragons will rematch. Yes.
So people were hoping, well, if we kill her, someone else has a better chance at getting Tartan.
Two chances.
Right.
Plus they hate her for, being tiny and weak.
Yeah, and being the daughter of
the general.
The general, yeah. And like her family name. They just hate her for a bunch of reasons. So, and they're like, oh, look at her. She's small and weak. We could just take her out. But for someone so weak, they had several people in there to take her out.
There was 7 people in there to kill her. Did you figure out who ran away before she told?
Who ran away?
Amber.
Oh, you mean the girl?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know who it was. Did you know it was Amber?
Yes. My first thought was Imogene. Just because she's been a bitch. But then I was like, no, Xaden would kill her for that. It's not her. And I was like, the only other person who really hates her that much and has any sort of authority is Amber, the rule follower.
But she was so, and that is a good way that the author did that, because Amber wasn't even on the page that much to make me remember her. But I remembered her later.
Yeah, she had that hissy fit. And because... Violet, quote unquote, broke the rules on the gauntlet trying to get up to the dragons. And Amber threw that hissy fit. And then later, Dane was like, yeah, Amber laid into me for like 3 hours because he broke the rules. And I was like, who else hates her that much and has any sort of authority?
The irony, Amber. The rule follower broke the rules. This is against the rules to attack someone in their sleep.
And if she'd been smart and just like told them and not gone with them, nobody would have ever known, because they all died instantly without a chance to, say anything.
So she's awakened, and it's like she was dreaming. She was dreaming. And then like, I think who was that? Was it the dragon?
It was the
like telling her to wake up, get up.
It was Karen, the dragon, who was
Yes.
like, wake up, bitch.
Wake up. She's like kind of, and then she moved, like, and the guy was like right there trying to get her, like, and before you know it, she's tussling. She's trying to back herself away. She's doing all the things.
She's throwing knives and hitting them in the shoulders, not killing them because she
not
can't kill yet.
Yeah, which is a shame. We could talk about that in a minute. And then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, she has a couple seconds. Like that mini baby dragon froze time.
Yes.
So she could like
escape.
Get away.
Yes.
Yes. In that scene, I'm like, why are you thinking so hard? Move your ass. Move your ass.
Like, she's sitting there. She's like, there's a knife in my throat. I'm going to die. And I'm like, fight. Do something. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm like, move, like hit the door. It seemed like it took her a long time to get to the door, in my opinion. And then finally the dragon's like
she's almost to the door.
Yeah.
When the time starts again and Xaden's still there and thankfully he can save her. But
and he does. He goes in there and kills everybody.
Instantly.
Yeah. He's like, no, you're all dead. You're dead. And then he calls his crew. They try to do cleanup duty.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, she's got a permanent protector by her side.
Liam.
A new friend. Yeah, Liam, which I really like him.
He was good.
And yeah. I can't believe.
Can we talk about Xaden's magic for just a second? Because
the shadow stuff.
So his magic is being able to control shadows. But he seems to be able to do a lot of things with these shadows, like make ropes, make protective blankets, black out everything. He almost decapitated a wyvern at the end with the rope of a shadow. And I was like, how the hell does shadows do that? Like, what? Did she just say shadows and that means it can be anything? Or...
Yeah, and I never really hear or read anything where shadows solidify like that.
He had them solidified multiple times. And I was like, I thought shadows would just kind of like conceal you and make it so people can't see you. Not that it's like an entity thing or...
Yeah. So only two of the things that he did with the shadows actually made sense to me. So the one time where he kind of like threw it up to hide him and hide Violet after she almost had that breakdown, hiding, concealing, like you said. And then the other when he's trying to like blind everyone. So he like makes the shadow where no one can see. No one can see but Violet. She can see.
Yes.
So those are the ways that I anticipate a shadow to work. And like you said, the others don't really...
Yeah, like how is a shadow a rope? How does a shadow protect you from flying glass? How does a shadow just go kill somebody? Does it like enter their heart and turn out the lights in their heart? What does a shadow do?
I don't know. It shouldn't be able to do that. And she didn't explain how it was able to do that. Maybe she will in the second book.
I hope so. Since we got one scene from his point of view, I hope we're going to get some more in future books and we can get an explanation for how his magic works. Because I'm like, a shadow's not a rope. I can't get past that. A shadow's not a rope.
It's not. No, absolutely not. Like you should just be able to reach in there. It shouldn't stop you. So yeah, I agree that his power is a little odd and I want them to explain. But another magic that kind of I expected, but I kind of thought it was a little easy was the telepathy. Oh my God.
Telepathy.
You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, thank you. I think that's what I said. I don't know. Anyway.
You're fine.
But I'm like, the dragons can do it to the writers and they can do it with themselves, which makes sense. But the minute Xaden is talking to Violet, I'm like, okay.
That was just another... I have read so
it was
many
easy.
paranormal books that I was like, okay, I can accept this just because it makes me happy. But
Yeah. I liked
yeah.
it, but I thought it was easy
Oh,
because I'm
yes.
like, I I I liked it because they're cute, right?
Mhm.
Especially when they start talking back to each other, and he's
Bickering
like, "You
back
can
and
do it
forth.
too. Why don't you try?" Right? Yeah. So those were fun
Mhm.
scenes. I'm like, that was kind of easy. Like, okay, so now just because all four of them is in this thing, now they can all just talk to each
Mhm.
other at will whenever they want.
Mhm.
That's annoying.
It is a little annoying. I thought it was fun. I'm used to it in
Yeah.
paranormal books, so I was like, "Yep, it's the trope. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
roll with it."
I liked it. I did like it in the end. Honestly, I didn't have a lot of complaints at all. And the little nitpicky things that I found, it was just nitpicking, being critical.
Mhm.
Okay, so what did you think of the sex scene that we got?
I honestly laughed. I was like, "This is so ridiculous." They're breaking the desk. They're breaking the wardrobe. They're breaking the curtain or putting the curtains on fire. Now they're on the floor. I was like, all
I
right.
mean, how someone so fragile have that kind of sex, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, her spine should be broken in 3
Mm-hmm.
places. Her hip should be
Has some
dislocated.
bruising.
I guess she's a lot stronger.
Yeah, I'm like, what? You're breaking stuff. I mean, okay, so let's keep it real. To be breaking things, you have to be like flopping around. Like,
Mhm.
you've got to use some force if you're breaking things like that.
Yes. Especially strong wooden things that
Yeah.
shouldn't be broken and should be able to take a beating, and you're just like pulverizing it, and she's not broken in several places. No, she's just like putting her hand out and able to push back.
It's funny to me. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, it was
Mhm.
kind of cute, but I'm like, I did think it was very odd. I'm like, y'all having this wild, like, cat and bone style sex. You guys
Mhm.
are human.
It
Like,
was, yeah, yeah. That didn't really fit with her whole "I'm so weak and fragile and
mm-hmm,
break all the time"
mm-hmm.
storyline,
Oh,
but it
yeah.
was
I like
funny.
the lightning, though. Like, why
Mhm.
not?
But
Crescendo with
she
lightning and break out a window or something. I mean, yeah,
start
set
several
some things
forest
on fire.
fires.
Which, by the way, after that first time they're together and she sets these fires, the one teacher comes, he's knocking on the door.
First thing in the morning, I'm going to teach you how not
Yeah,
to set things on
and
fire.
then of course she trains with him and that whole thing. She was kind of nervous, like, I'm out
Mhm.
here with him and anything can happen. And the dragon's like, don't worry, I'll toast him if he tries anything.
If he takes one step
Yes.
towards you,
Yes.
I'll eat
And
him.
so she's out
Yes.
there and he's like telling her to do to do the lightning on command. And she's like, I can't really do it. And then she like kind of rings in with Zayden and is like, hey, so yeah. And so he's like, they start this little sexy time in their minds. And suddenly, oh, I can do it.
Yep. It's
Of course.
emotional.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Typical. Also typical, but I don't care. I liked it anyway.
Yeah, I know. It was fun. It was
Yeah,
just
it
fun.
was. Did you have anything on your list that you wanted to talk about specifically?
Well, okay, so Dane, do we want to talk
Oh
about?
God. Oh, he's the worst.
He annoyed me from the start. And I knew, like, we'd already seen the hot bad boy who wants to kill her, and that's the trope. So I was like, I know we're going to end up with Zayden. But Dane was just so annoying. And then, I mean, he was constantly touching her. And when it was revealed at the end again how, he just has to barely touch her in order to get her memories, I was like, there were so many fucking times when he
Yeah.
touched her.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he touched her a lot more than what we saw, because we would skip weeks and months. And I was like, how much or how often, like, is he touching her on purpose to learn everything? Is he like, and then he acts surprised when she picks Zayden over him. even though he's been in her mind and sees everything.
So he'd been like touching her face and doing different things. Supposedly, I guess he had to like touch her face or something. And like when Xaden brings it up to her, she's like, "Oh, he always touches me. Like, it's normal, or it's just him."
Yeah.
And I did think like you. Well, was he doing that on purpose before? I know we know he did one time, and we know he almost tried another time, but all the other times that he was like, "Oh, I just care about you. Oh, I just want to keep you safe." Was he doing stuff?
I think he was doing it. And I mean, okay, so right after the dragons, remember right after she gets her dragons, and he comes up to her and he cups her face and then kisses her. I'm like, was he going back into that memory specifically to see what all happened? And then
maybe,
did he actually care that those 3 guys came after her?
I don't know. So the author makes it seem like, and I compare him, and it always goes back to Sarah J. Maas, because these dudes are similar, like they are. So I think of him as like Tamlin. So Tamlin is ultra protective. I'm doing this for your own good. I'm protecting you for your own good. I'm nosy about everything. I'm in your business. And I think of him like that. And he loves her in a twisted way. So I do believe that Dane thinks he really cares for her. But it's so twisted, he doesn't even realize it's a twisted way. Like he is rationalizing the things he's doing under the guise of caring for her, which is not true.
Yes. And like you mentioned, that one time he tried to do it. It was in front of everybody. He was telling her that she was wrong about Amber, and he just reached for her face. Like he didn't even ask. He just like reached for her face.
She like, "Do not touch me. Get away from me."
And it was really like in that moment where it's crystal clear that he doesn't want or need her consent for anything.
He's entitled.
He feels like he has access to her mind no matter what.
Yeah.
And he's a total asshole.
He is. It's pretty horrible, to be honest. And I could tell early on he was going to be a problem. So, and it's true. And it took her a while to realize, until Xaden kind of confronted him and was like, "Stop trying. Don't talk to her like that. Don't tell her that. Are you trying to cripple her? Like, what are you doing?" Like, he kind of stepped in and checked him when he was trying. "Don't worry. You never have to do anything like that. You don't have to, like, stop coddling her. What is wrong with you?"
He called him out a few times, and I loved that.
Yes. It's like, you're more of a problem than he even thinks, or she even thinks.
Yes.
Because the whole time, and she realizes it at the end though, but the whole time you're constantly stepping on her progress, stepping on
telling her she's not good enough,
Yes.
telling her that she can't do it. And
yeah. He's so, and like that very first day, like when she gets down there and she finds him, and he's like instantly dragging her away, like, "Okay, we got to get you out of here. You're not going to survive." Da, da, da. And then it happens again. He's like, "Hey,"
and again and again and again.
The scribe people will take you. You just have to do this. And she's like, at that point, she's like, "Wait a minute, I'm not going anywhere." She's starting to feel like, I belong here now. And he's still pushing. Yes, he's still pushing. I'm like, okay.
It's that controlling. I know what's best for you. Which, every person in her life was doing that. Her mother did that by sending her to dragon school. Her sister did that by fighting her mom on it, Nobody ever stopped to ask her what she wanted.
Yeah, and I think, she really came into her own and realized that, this is a new home for me. It's different than what I thought I wanted, but
it's working. It's working. I'm surviving, and I might die at any second, but...
And she's fine with it.
Yeah.
Especially after she got her dragon. She really cares for them. And
absolutely.
She's in the right place.
She definitely is.
Yeah. And especially after that last, like, showdown, it's proven, like, you are very strong. You can take people out. Griffins, like, imaginary things that you didn't think existed. You can kill them. And their riders. I'm like, magical creatures. These are not natural creatures. They're magic.
Yes.
And you're taking them out.
Yes.
So,
She's strong.
Yeah. And I feel like she's fully in that now. Like, there's nothing that Dane can do later when she comes across him again. She may never speak to him again unless it's like to shit on.
I think she will,
Like,
just because
awful.
that's who she is as a person.
You really think she'll give him another chance?
I think she will.
Ugh.
Just because he's her friend and she wants to trust him.
I don't think so. I think she's going to find out something else about him, something that he's done, or she's going to find out that he's been working with her mother the whole time, or something. She's going to find out something and know that she can never trust him again.
Yeah, I think she's going to try and forgive him one time, and then that's going to happen, and then she'll be like, you're dead to me. Because I feel like they need to meet face to face, and he'll try and worm his way back in, and she might, because she tries to forgive everybody. That's just who she is. She's the sweet heroine who forgives everybody.
Which is a blessing and a curse together. Yeah. Because you want to not be you don't want to be a killer. You don't want to just get used to walking around killing people. But you don't want to be so soft-hearted that it's to your own detriment. You could have killed that dude on the field. You had a chance to kill him and you didn't. And now he's back here strangling you to death, right?
Yes.
So
yeah, and that happened a lot to her. There were several times she could have killed Jack, and she waited and waited and waited and almost lost Liam before she finally killed him.
Yes. So I think, hopefully, in my 2 cents, with my 2 cents, I hope in the next book she's a little harder, but not all the way, not changed, but just a little bit more experienced, a little bit more wary, growth. A little bit more, growth, but not completely different. Because that softness about her is also what had Xaden coming around, right? And realizing things. So we don't want her change, but we want her growth. We want her to get some growth. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Oh, so I'm glad I don't have to wait that long. I'm glad it's only November.
So the Ripped Bodice, the all romance bookstore in LA, I saw they're going to do a midnight release party for book 2. And I'm like, my bank account says no. But if I can find a cheap flight to LA, I might go just to have some fun with some fellow book nerds.
Okay, so first off, can I just say, I probably need a mileage run toward the end of the year for my Sky Miles program.
Okay.
So if I need a mileage run, I might hop on a flight for a week, a quick overnight. We'll see.
It's November 6th at the Ripped Bodice for the midnight release party.
Wow. Okay. So I just looked up Iron Flame, second book. It's longer, y'all. 640 pages. She's doing this. And I mean, honestly, this book is going to be so ridiculously big and heavy. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Okay. I kind of want to do it. Am I really going to go to LA overnight from the East Coast for a release party?
And I think it's on a Tuesday.
Let me look. Oh my goodness. So you said it's the Ripped Bodice?
It's a Monday night. Yeah, the Ripped Bodice.
And they're calling it a release party?
Midnight release party.
Is the author going to be there?
I don't think so. I think I just read that it was a party for book lovers. There's going to be trivia. Your ticket covers getting the book.
Okay, now I'm actually thinking about this. Okay, y'all. Are you going? Are y'all going? Are you going to go? I want to know. If
should we go?
There.
Tell us if you're going and if we should get on planes and go.
Yeah, this is going to be like a 4-hour flight to make this happen. Both ways. That's a commitment. If we can make it a get together too, maybe if people want to come out and hang with us, have dinner with us or something.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Or drinks with us. Maybe Okay, if y'all listening, you're in LA, you listen to this show
Yes.
and you want to hang
If
out
you're
with us,
yes.
send a message. I'm curious. If we get any interest, it might entice me more because
Yes.
that's a flight.
Or if you know about it happening in a different state at a different bookstore. Like I know Entangled is based out of Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado. So maybe they'll do something in Denver. And if
Mm-hmm.
it's like publisher, the author Rebecca Yarros might show up if the publisher's like hosting it. I haven't heard
Mm-hmm.
anything. Everybody else, like, please let me know if anything is happening because have credit card will fly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm trying to Google. It looks like a couple different stores are doing release parties.
Ooh.
Midnight release party. Here's another one. Where is this one at? One's Washington State, I found. Where is this at? Greenville. What? Where's Greenville? South Carolina? Is that Greenville?
I think so.
There's one. Okay, I'm gonna do some research. We're gonna do some
Yes.
research. Because I feel like I want to do it.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna do some research to see if I can find one closer or if I get enough feedback from Shelf Addiction listeners. We'll see.
Yes.
Because that's an expense, but I might do it. I'm crazy I'm crazy like that sometimes. I get the itch and I just want to do stuff.
I heard it before I finished the book and I was like, whatever. And then I finished the book and I was like, you know what? I think I need to go.
I mean, the only thing that could make this even better is if the author was there. I would definitely do it if she was there and I can get a book signed.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm going to start researching and see if Entangled Publishing is actually going to put anything on. Like if they do something at the tattered cover, that would be awesome.
Okay, let me know what you find.
I will. And right back at you. And everybody else listening,
yes.
If you know of something happening, please let us know.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I want to talk about the narrator right fast before we rate it and close out. So I have read or listened to quite a few things done by Rebecca Solar, and she is freaking amazing. Like, I loved how she did her voices, the dragons' voices. Like, she is so spectacular in this book. She really wins the gold star, I think, for the narration in this book. I don't know. I just think it's great. I think she went above and beyond. And it was like, I knew that this other guy, Tim Hamilton, I knew his name was on there, but he didn't show up until the final chapter when we get Zayden's
I was
POV.
wondering.
Yeah, he wasn't scattered throughout. He was just at the end, while he's sitting by Violet's bedside. I'm like, oh, a man's voice. I'm like, oh, here it is. So I also really enjoyed the little bit I heard from him. And I kind of am hoping that we get some switching back and forth between their POVs in the next book.
I hope so. Like after that final chapter, the amount of groveling he's going to have to do, I hope we get some from his point of view.
Yeah. And now that we know his brother is reintroduced, he might need to do some stuff for him, some narrating for him. Because if she's going in the Sarah J. Maas style, like with Throne of Glass, that series, we eventually started hearing from different POVs, some of the guys, and you would need different narrators to pull that off. So I don't know. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
And I have not been like this in a long time, y'all. It's been a while.
I haven't either. Okay, to be honest, the last time I went to a midnight release party was for the 7th and final Harry Potter book.
Okay.
Like way back when that came out. But yeah, no, I would love to go to a release party. I haven't done that in so long. And I was like, I think I should fly somewhere to go do this.
Yeah. That sounds like that sounds like fun, like a good idea. I'm going to seriously contemplate it. I have to see how I can work my points, see how I can pull off. I'm going to do some point finagling and see what I could do. Okay, I think we should go ahead and rate it. I have a feeling you're not going to be surprised by these ratings, but let's go ahead for the hell of it anyway. Let's officially put it down in ink, right?
Yes.
So, do you want to go first?
5 stars.
Okay.
I was happy. It was good. I'm not nitpicking it too badly.
Same for me. 5 stars. 5 stars.
That is amazing.
I know some people are going to be like, WTF, she rated this 5 stars. But I'm telling you, it must have just been the perfect combination of nostalgia and familiarity and freshness.
Yes.
And it was just the perfect combination. It just, the stars aligned. That's exactly what it
is. Yes. Yeah. And like, our reader brains needed this at this moment. And it was well done enough. Because sometimes you have bits and pieces, but it's not well done, or like something's just off. But no, this was well done. Yes. And it was all of the right tropes, all of the right cliches with dragons. Like, it's so good.
I love dragons so hard. I want a dragon. Good. If dragons were real, I would totally join this college to try to
I don't know if I would join this college, but I'd like, can I feed the dragons?
No, I want to ride a dragon. I want to be like on a harness, though. I'm not going to be holding myself in there. I don't have the willpower like Violet to be working out like a mad woman to try to grow the muscles I need to stay on there without a saddle. Nah, I need something. But anyway. Oh, that was fun. Yay, TikTok, BookTok. Yay! You guys delivered.
I know. I was so worried before. I was like, this is not going to end well. It'll just be another mediocre 3-star book. Like,
yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, sometimes BookTok can pull it off. They can do it sometimes, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to our next one. We're going to find another one maybe in the next 3 to 6 months. We'll find something else new that's hot. We'll see how that goes. So we're not done with BookTok. We'll be back here again sometime soon. In the meantime, I guess that's it for today. What do you think, Casey?
I think that's it for today.
Okay, it's been a fun conversation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yes, I know I enjoyed it.
Yes. I can keep talking if you want to.
Oh my gosh. I could, but we're gonna call it quits so you guys can go listen to other episodes that are available on the podcast feed right now.
Yes. But you can always find us on the apps and talk to us about it on the apps, and we will keep chatting with you.
We will. So find us. We're around. And don't forget, before you leave, like and subscribe. Share this episode with other friends that also enjoyed Fourth Wing. Don't forget, by subscribing, we'll be right back in your inbox in our next episode. So we'll see you then. Until then, take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.